Leading is an art form. It's an art form of achieving goals through people. And I believe that one of the most crucial skills of a leader is to know how to build a team and how to lead a team. We said earlier that if you have a goal that asks that other people would help you to achieve that goal, it's something that you cannot do on your own, then you need to know how to build a team. And the first thing that I always do in choosing a team is to sit down and just define what I could imagine would be some of the roles in this team. I think if you study sports and you love sports, it's quite obvious that you have, in the game of rugby, you've got 15 players on the field, and you know that there are different roles that every player has to fit into. So if I know what I want, then I need to start looking around me and see who are the people that I am going to choose to be on my team. But that's where it gets a little bit complicated. There are so many factors that influence the team that you choose. And I mean, there have been so many books that were written about this. But let me just break it down to some of the simple things that I do. The first question that I ask is, what are the passions of this particular individual? So, for instance, if I have a fullback in my team, in a sports team, and this person has to be able to cover and to catch, then I want to look for somebody who is passionate about that particular role. If you have somebody who wants to be around the ball the whole time, that person is not going to be happy to play as a fullback on my team. Let's come back to just the example in my family of raising my children. They need different skill sets, and I need a team. I need somebody that they sometimes can just go and cry on their shoulder. And I jokingly say that I use the grandparents for that, So they are the ones where the children, they enjoy that. They are passionate about just listening to all the detail of their stories. As a father, I sometimes feel I don't have time for that. We need to make things happen. So there are other people in the team who is taking on that particular role. Maybe these are very simple examples. But if you know what you want to do with your team, you need to choose your team members by asking the passion question first. The second question is, what are the strengths that I need within that passion? Let's broaden it out a little bit. In Doxa Deo, one of our passions is children's ministry. So if that is something that you are passionate about, and as a pastor of a church, I am building a team that will minister to children. I'm asking the passion question first, but then I want to ask the strength question. What are the skill sets that are necessary? So I need, for instance, somebody that will be a presenter who can stand in front of kids and have a little bit of a clown on the inside, so they enjoy the fun and the presenting, and they want to make it fun for the children. But to build a team that will minister to a particular age group in our church asks for more than just a clown and a presenter. It asks also for an organizer, somebody who will get the curriculum ready and make sure that all of the administration is done. So you see, in the arena of passion, people need to bring their strengths into the particular roles that they have to fulfill in that team. As a leader, it is my job to link the skills and the passions of people to the significance, the common goal of what we want to achieve. And obviously, the word common goal, the word team implies that people have to share the values with which we will achieve this particular goal. So if ministering to children is your passion and you've got different skill sets, one organizer and maybe one teacher and maybe one shepherd, somebody that will take care of the emotional needs of the children, and we put them together in a team, that team will not stick together if they don't have common values. The way that we do what we are doing is absolutely crucial. A leader is the one who has to develop those values, develop the team, and get people into a sense of agreement. I agree that this is what we are doing, this is where I fit into it, and this is how we are doing that. I believe that teams at their best are the teams that play people to their strengths. There's a huge study on this, and I mean, people in Europe have done a study and said that if you spend 20% of your day on what you are passionate about, it could fuel you for the rest of your day. But I prefer to work with people who spend more than 50%, 60% of their day on the things that they are passionate about. So I'm willing to shift people around in the team and lead and build a team where the most of your day you can do things that comes naturally for you, that you are good at, strengths and passions, and that has significance for you. And in the way that you put those teams together, you will experience that there's a new level of synergy, of working together where people acknowledge, I'm good at this, I'm not good at that. And that means that I need you to complement me. Just the example of parenting between me and my wife, she's got skill sets and I've got skill sets. And if I know what she's good at and she knows what I'm good at, then we can be a team in certain roles. I've seen it when we discipline our children, for instance. There are certain situations where I do better, other situations where she does better. And if you know it, and if leadership happens where a team knows where we complement each other, it lifts the experience of synergy. Synergy means that 1 + 1 = 3. We are doing better because we are doing it together. That to me is great teamwork. It's where we tackle a particular goal, a cause that we are living for, a goal on the way to that cause. And we are doing it together because we sense that our strengths are being used and that we have a complement to each other. It's the same in sport, it's the same everywhere where you go, where it's not just the gift of the individual that makes a great team. It is the connections between the people that makes a great team. We've seen it recently with some of the sport franchises in South Africa, where the individuals are not really mega performers, but together there's a corporate belief that we can achieve greatness, and they have achieved greatness. So as a leader, I'm looking at that to my own team, every team that I lead, the team that you lead at home, the team that you lead at your business, the team that you lead in society. The first question is, do you have the right players on your team? The second question is, are they connected to each other in such a sense that they know we can do better when we do it together? Now, leading people has always brought me to some point of discipline. Because you have people who have their own needs and their own pace, and as a team, they sometimes feel that their own individual need is more important than the need of the team. And as a leader, I had to grow in my capacity to create a context of discipline. Let me use an example. To pitch up on time for a meeting is a very simple example. I mean, as a leader, it's my job to set the bar and say, guys, when we come together and we have agreed this is the time that we start, then there will be implications. That's what discipline means to me. It's a simple choice. I've got the team on the one side, I've got the individual on the other side. And as a leader, everybody is watching you and they want to know, are you going to put the individual in front of the team? Or are you putting the team in front of the individual? It's a little bit of a balancing act. I'm not always chasing people out of meetings when they arrive late. But if I see a trend, it is my responsibility to show the team my commitment to the team and to ask the individual to align. This is not, when I'm in a team, it's not a place for individual comfort. It's a place where it's about the collective, and the commitment is towards the team. And my encouragement to you as a leader is to know that People love discipline. I'm a musician, so let me use this as an example. Musicians like space. They want to do things their own way. But if you play in an orchestra, you have your part that you have to play. And the conductor has the role of facilitating the harmony of radically different instruments that are playing together. And you know when you sit there and everything is in harmony. That means there's discipline, everyone understands their role, everyone is playing their part at the right moment, they are silent at the right moment, they are going loud together, they are going soft together, they are ending at the right moment. The conductor facilitates all of that. And then magic happens. When you're playing your instrument, and I play the trumpet sometimes in that setting, you hear everything is much more beautiful than just hearing my own voice. Great leadership takes a team to that place where they know we are achieving a huge goal, but it is because we can do it together. It's because I have the significance of my contribution, and I can feel it, I can sense it. I'm contributing in the music. And sometimes I'm holding back, and I can see that somebody else is getting the spotlight now, but it is a team effort. I think that is a huge example of how great leaders put their teams together. And it is something that has a constant rhythm to it. Discipline is not a negative term. Discipline actually makes the magic happen. It makes beautiful harmony because somebody is facilitating the discipline. And I remember in the orchestra, every now and again, somebody would miss a note, and you would see the conductor just look at you, and you know, I missed it there. And if I really mess it up, he'll stop everything and say, guys, the whole team is negatively influenced by the mistake that you are making. Fix it, make a note, whatever is necessary, and here we go again. As a leader, you need to know that is your role. You can't run around and do everything in the team. You need to facilitate the harmony and the music that we are making, if I can use that metaphor. Now, unfortunately, every team also needs to have a back door. What I mean with that is that sometimes people will leave your team. You will need to replace them, and we've already said at the start of the session what are the characteristics that you look for to get the right person on board. But letting people go is one of the most difficult things that I've done. And I want to talk this through for a couple of minutes because I want to encourage you. You will get to a point where you will see that an individual doesn't fit into your team or is actually becoming a detractor. It is pulling the team down, pulling the team back to achieving their goal. And it is your responsibility to ask the question, can the team afford it any longer? The typical turnaround time for me was around 2 years. I would do this, I would have intervention, and I'll talk about it a little bit in the next session, how do you do that. But I would do everything on my part, from my side, to see if I can fix it. But at some point you get to a place where you have to ask the question, I am now going to choose. If I choose this individual who's not performing, who is out of line, the commitment is a problem, or the capacity is a problem, I'm going to have to choose. Am I going with a lower level of competence, or am I going to choose the higher level of what the team demands? And if you get to that point where you say, I'm choosing the team, letting somebody go doesn't have to be that negative. I actually believe that that person is already frustrated in this team as well. It's not just me. It's not just the team. That person can feel the frustration and even the anger building. So sitting down with an individual and saying, you know what, let me dream about your future. This is not working. Maybe there's something else that you can go and do that you would be a better fit to. And it's not just that we are letting you go, we are actually facilitating you into a higher level of success, a higher level of meaning and fulfillment for you. The moment where you do that is never fun. But I've had so many people come back to me afterwards and say, no, John, you really did me a favor. I am more happy today, more successful. So I want to encourage you, leading people is to understand that when we want to achieve something that's bigger than an individual, it's going to ask for a team. Putting a team together and managing and leading a team is one of the most crucial skill sets of a leader. And I believe that the best places on this planet is the place where teamwork really works. May you not just be encouraged, but may you develop your skill even further to know how to choose and how to position your team for greatness. My last comment today is I'm very fluid and flexible. Every 6 months or 12 months, we sit down and we evaluate the roles of the people in the team. Every time a new person comes on board, it changes everything. And it's good to be a flexible leader that leads a flexible team where we ask the practical question, is everybody on the right seat and are we achieving our goals? Teamwork makes the dream work.